Hello there, it's Jay here from Jay's Vintage Junk. I mean, if you watched my previous video, you will know that I picked this up at the weekend on Sunday at the Gold Bar and BVWS event. And what we've got here, this is a Tandy TRS-80 Colour Computer 2, otherwise known as a Co-Co 2. As you can see, it's boxed. The box is a little bit tatty, but it's all there. And we've got the cassette lead there, power lead, a basic manual. We'll get that out of the way for the moment. We've got some cassettes. We've got scramble. We've got Cuthbert Goes Digging, and we've got Cuthbert Goes Walkabout, and we've got the Co-Co 2 itself. So we'll get this out of the packaging. It still does have its poly inserts as well. We'll get the box out of the way. Right. Okay. If you didn't watch my previous video, quick introduction to the Tandy TRS-80 Colour Computer. Now, I did actually have one of these back in the 90s. Not a Co-Co 2, a Co-Co Model 1, the original one, which basically it's very, very similar. It's a different colour. It's like a silvery colour, where this is a cream colour. Instead of having this proper keyboard, it's got like a chiclet style, rather horrible keyboard. I believe they could come with I think it was like 16K, 32K. I don't know if they did a 48K. I think the later ones like this could be 64K, but there were various different memory configurations they could come in. I think the original one that I had was just a 16K one. I've been looking for one for the collection for some time, but every time they turn up on eBay, either a Co-Co 1 or a Co-Co 2, or there was a Co-Co 3 as well, which has a few more enhancements to it. They always, even if they're unboxed, don't know whether they work or what have you, they always sell for more than I can justify paying for them. I came across this one, like I said, at a radio swap meet, and I paid £20 for it, which I consider, a very, very good deal. But it was sold as untested. It hadn't been obviously powered up for a very, very, very long time. So what I thought we'd do in this video is go through it and actually see if we can get this thing to work. And if we're really, really, really lucky, we might even be able to get one of these tapes to load on it, because I'm pretty certain. I know I've got one cartridge somewhere, and I did have a look for it before I started making this video, and I couldn't find it, which is... It's either a word processor or it's a typing tutor or something like that, which is for the TRS-80. Like I said, unfortunately I couldn't find that, because I was going to use that as a test for this thing. But like I said, we do have some tapes. And in the future, we do have the possibility of getting this software to run on this, because I do actually have a TRS-80 floppy disk cartridge to go in there. Although it's currently modified to work on a Dragon 32, so I would have to de-modify it, which I can do, or at least make a switchable version which would work between the two computers. Anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself there. The reason we're not just plugging this in, one thing, it has a mains power supply actually built into the computer. Now, we don't know what state that's in after sitting for all these years. And we could risk, if we just plug this in and there's something wrong with the internal supply, doing damage to the actual main board. Like, say the 5 volt rail's gone bad and it's going up to 10 volts, 12 volts. we can fry a lot of the ICs in here. So best thing to do is we will open this thing up, have a good look round, disconnect the power supply from the actual main board. We'll power the power supply up. We'll check what voltages we've got out coming out of the power supply. If everything's good, we can reconnect that to the main board, and we can actually have a look at seeing if we can actually get this computer to do something. So let's get right into it. It is essentially very similar to a Dragon 32, which I also own. It's not identical. They were basically both. That screw's not fully in. That's actually loose, or it's the wrong screw. Let me get the correct screwdriver as well. That doesn't fit very well. Let's try that. That's a better fit. I think it is the right screw in the right hole. It just wasn't screwed in properly. So we'll take these out. And I was just saying, the TRS-80 colour computer shares a lot of similarities with the Dragon 32, because they were both based on the same. It was like a show design, like basically when Motorola brought out the 6809 CPU, they had like they basically brought out a example computer that could be built with the 6809 CPU. Both Tandy and Dragon Data base their computers basically exactly on that design. It basically is that design. The only difference is I think they did some of the ROM addressing slightly differently between the two computers. That's why they're not really 100% compatible with one another. Although it is possible to tweak your Dragon software to run on the Tandy, and Tandy software to run on the Dragon. So we can get these screws out. Being a little bit awkward. That one's out. Oh, and they are different lengths as well, so these screws in the back are slightly longer than the screws in the front, which is handy to know. Come on, out you come. There we go. Yeah, so the two longer screws are in the back. Now we've got another screw there, which actually has a Radio Shack Service Centre sticker, which has already been busted. So someone has been in this in the past. Which, to be honest, with the age of it, doesn't really surprise us that much, does it? Right. Take them last two screws out. Put them to one side. And we should be able to get in this thing now. There we go. Oh, that's what we like to see. It's nice and dusty. No one has been messing about with this for a very long time. I do notice it uses like a Sinclair style keyboard connector. Let's gently disconnect that. I hope that's still okay. That is different from the keyboards on the earlier Model 1 that uses like a proper ribbon cable to connect to it with a little pin header on the back of the keyboard there. So that's a bit of a downgrade. I hope that's still okay, and I hope this keyboard still works. Right, I believe that's where a memory expansion can go. There, so we obviously don't have that, but we do have, I think we've probably got 32k of memory in this. I think that's the RAM there. I should really have my anti-static on when I'm playing about with this, so I'm sorry you're going to have to move a minute, because I've just realised my anti-static is actually through the tripod of my camera. I'll stick that on, seeing we're inside here. Right. Oh, and that's not good. I don't like that. That's a bit of a pain. Right, I was expecting to find a power supply, a separate power supply powering the board. It's not like that. We've got a mains transformer there, bringing low voltage AC onto the board, and then all the actual rectification and power regulation is actually done on the main board. I'm sure that's not how it was done in the earlier Model 1 Co-Co. I do believe these are kind of like cost reduced somewhat. The integrated a lot of the ICs. I think some of these ICs are fairly that's sticky. I don't know where this has been stored, but that dust is sticky. Yeah, it's going to need quite a lot of clean up, this board, I think. In fact, where is our CPU? 6809. So our CPU's there. I believe that those are basically the companion chips. Also, I don't see a speaker in here, which means that the audio will only come through the RF modulator. That's another thing that I wasn't sure about on the Co-Co 2. It doesn't have any form of composite video and audio output on it. It only has RF modulator on it, so we are going to have to probably look at doing something about that. One good thing I can say is we don't have any I've forgotten what they're called now. Them capacitors, like the Weimer brand capacitors that tend to short and blow up in a lot of the computers that have a built-in power supply. With no like it isn't a switch mode power supply, it's a linear power supply, so we don't have a lot of the capacitors which tend to fail in those switch mode power supplies. Like I said, it is all linear on this. We've got a standard AC mains transformer there feeding low voltage AC, I think 2 flavours of. We've got a ground wire, we've got a blue and a red there into the main board. We've got some diodes down there, and we've got some diodes there doing the rectification. So I think all we can do really is power this thing up, and we will check voltage on, say, like a RAM IC or something like that, and make sure that we've actually got 5 volts. I don't really like doing it like that, but with the way that this board's made, I can't actually see any other way we can do it. Right, let's get a test meter for him. In fact, what we can do, yeah. Just bear with me a second, folks. I'll just have to find my meter leads, and then we can actually see what's happening. So, back in a sec. Right, okay. I've actually swapped out to a different meter because the one I was using wasn't reading correctly on the voltage range. This one does. I've just confirmed that with my bench supply on the back there. So, what we'll do, make sure that that switch is off there. I will plug the I'll plug the TRS-80 in. We haven't even verified that the fuse is alright in the plug or anything, but let's throw caution to the wind. Now you can see the test meter there, so what we'll do, we'll find a good ground. I can probably use that ground there, because that will be a common ground. In fact, let's just confirm that before we go any further. So let's go around to diode check. That's that there. Let's go to a point over here. Yeah, so we've confirmed that's definitely just a common ground. So let's go on to ground on an IC. Yeah, there we go. That's definitely ground. So we've got a good ground there. So all we need to do, let's put that back round onto voltage. We're plugged in. So basically, if I switch on here, we can monitor. Let's go on, say, like this RAM IC there. I think that's a RAM IC. That should be +5, I think, up there. In fact, there's a 74 LS. Is that in 74LS02 there. We'll go up there. I think that should be right. So let's power up. In fact, oh, sorry, I'm on the wrong side of the bloody chip. No, I'm not getting anything there, I don't think. Oh! The chip's in the other way around, you daft sod. There we go. Okay, perfect. So we've got 5.04 volts. I mean, it's 0.04 over. If it was like 5.1 something, I'd be worried. 5.04, I'm not really worried about that. I'm quite happy with that. So, or at least our 5 volts seems to be good there. Let's have a quick look, see if we've got on here. Yeah, that's that transistor. So let's try this. Which way around is that? .85. Let's make sure what was getting that before. Oh no, we're good. We are good. 5.02 there. So I'm reasonably happy that the 5 volts is alright. I'm trying to think where the 12 volts will probably be in use, because I'm guessing this is producing both 5 volts and 12 volts. But I don't think that's going to be as much of an issue. Like I said, I'm happy that the 5 volts line seems to be okay. What we will do then, we'll switch that off again, and that relay is clicking when we're putting the power on, so that appears to be working okay. In fact, does that click if we hit the reset? Yes, it does. So that's looking fairly good. I'm not going to bother doing anything with any of these capacitors at the moment. So the first thing I want to see is the computer actually going to do anything. So what I think I'll do is I will reconnect the keyboard up, and I will get a screen lashed up. Bear in mind that this thing has only got an RF output, so we'll have to use something that we can tune it into old school style with an RF output. So I'll sort something out, and we'll be back as soon as I've done that. So back in a sec. Right, okay, I've repositioned us all, and I dug that TV out I picked up at the car boot sale earlier this year, because I'm pretty certain that this has got an analog tuner built in, just by the way it's doing the fuzzy at the back there. As where most of the other screens I've got, even some of, the 4.3 ones, have actually only got digital tuners built in. I should have really kept something more that's got an analog tuner in it, but this should do for us. So what I'll do is I'll switch the TRS-80 back on. And I've already got this set up, so if we hit automatic search, UK, yeah, because I think this is a multi this TV. It will do various different PAL sound system. Right, we need to go down to start search, don't we? No, that's France. We don't want to change that. We want to go. There we go. Start search. And I've got the Co-Co on, so hopefully if it finds the Co-Co signal, it should come on here. Certainly searching through something, because we keep getting bits of something coming through. Hang on, nearly something that. There we go. Look at that. Right, so it'll keep running through. I think we can end that now. because we've got what we want. We go menu, we can hopefully get off that now. Exit. I'm trying to find somewhere to deposit it. Let's try there. Because I would like to get this menu off so we can actually have a play with the computer, because the computer appears to be working. Come on. Let's see if that'll do it. But you saw the computer. There we go. Fixed, working. Right, let me get you down a bit so you can probably see a bit better what's happening on the screen. I'm actually quite surprised how good. It might not look good for you on the camera, but it doesn't actually look too bad that on screen. I'm actually quite surprised. It's actually quite legible, considering this is RF. In fact, there's a lot more dithering and artifacts I can see on my little view screen there than I can actually see in real life on this screen. It actually looks fairly sharp, that. Is the keyboard going to work? That is the question. Enter works. Right, hang on. First thing we've got to do, 10, print. Shift might not work, just 1 minute. Where's delete? Where's delete, or do we use backspace? We use backspace, so let's just try that again. Oh no, it is working. We have to do hello world. There we go. So it works. It actually works. Let's hit reset. There we go. We have a functioning TRS-80 Co-Co Model 2. That is absolutely awesome. Yeah, we're going to have to do some work to it, obviously. We're going to have to clean all this board up. It is absolutely filthy. It probably would benefit from at least testing those capacitors, if not changing some of those capacitors, especially around in the power supply section. Make sure that that's happy. And it's going to need a damn good clean and everything, but it works. The computer actually works. Shall we see if we can load some software on it? Right, I will dig out a tape recorder and we will actually see if we can get some software to load on this thing. So back in a sec. Right, okay, I've got you repositioned so you've got a bit of a better look at what we've actually got going on here. So I think what we will do is we'll see if we can load at least one of the tapes that actually came with this. I don't know which one we're going to go for yet, but we've got them. And what better to actually load them on than this. What we've got here, my mate Andy gave me this a little while ago. And this is a Tandy computer cassette recorder, and it's the CCR82. And this is about the right age for this computer. And if we look colour wise, basically, you know, they pretty much match. So that's what we're going to try and use to actually load these cassettes. Right. The computer did come with the lead. It's the 4-pin one. So we've got a remote wire, a mic wire, and an earphone wire. So let's plug this into the back of the Co-Co. Let's see where that goes. No, That's in there. We need to plug that back up into there like that. Okay, so we've got that's all nicely on screen so you can actually see what's going on. Move my cup because that was in the way. Right, let's connect this up to the cassette player. So we have got, I think, which size? That's remote there. That's microphone, I think, and that is earphone like that. So that should be connected correctly. We do need to put some power up that tape recorder because it needs a 6-volt adapter or batteries, and obviously you always get a better result with 6 volts. So I've got a power supply for it plugged in. We'll connect that up like that. Just make sure that that is indeed working. Yeah, that's working. Stop that. Okay, excellent. Monitor in, remote in, because I think this does want control of the we'll get that about halfway like that. Okay, so that's the cassette player set up. Let's switch the computer back on and hopefully the monitor is going to respond. We might have to wake it up. Let's see. Let's computer on. There we go. Excellent. It is working. Can you see that okay? I hope you can see that. I hope you can see that alright. But we'll just zoom you in a little bit. There we go. And perhaps bring you up. Oops. I didn't like that. Well, in your camera a little bit. There we go. And perhaps bring you up a tiny touch. Right. There we go. So what's the first thing we should try loading? Cuthbert Goes Walkabout, or should we go straight to Scramble? Let's go straight to Scramble, shall we? And that's going to need rewinding. Right, so eject that, put that in the tape player, hit rewind, and now loading I think is exactly the same as is on the Dragon 32, as in what we need to do is press C load to get, yes, it's actually written on the tape here, to load type C load, then press enter, the game will start automatically. So let's in fact that's finished rewinding, so let's press stop there and we'll type C load, CLOAD. Does it need no, it doesn't need any commas or anything, so that's all you need to press is C load. That's quite cool. I think that's the same as on the Dragon. We will hit, do we hit enter? Yeah, hit enter and then obviously play on the tape, I presume. That's not enter. The tape doesn't seem to be no. Let's try disconnecting the remote. Got power there. Oh, hang on. I wonder if it's... Let's see if that's going to work. For some reason, when I had the remote wire connected there, it wasn't coming out of the remote, so I wonder if we've got some... We do actually have something wrong inside the computer. I don't seem to be able to hear anything playing on that tape, and this does have a monitor feature, so you should be able to actually hear the data. I wonder if that tape's no good. Let's, we'll fast forward to the other side of the tape and we will reset the TRS-80. Should that be coloured like that? Perhaps we do have some issues with it. In fact, let's try switching completely off and switching on again. Oh no, it is just coloured. I'm not sure if that's correct or not, actually. I will have to dig my... Well, like I said, I have to dig my Dragon out, but these are not exactly the same computers. They're just very, very similar. Right, let's try the other side of this tape, just in case that's what the issue was. Let's try, see. But I'm just not sure why it's not working with the remote. It could be that I've got some setting on here set wrong, but it should be able to work without a cassette player that has that feature. Let's press enter again, and let's press play. Ah, right, we've got an error straight away, but at least it has tried there. Right, let's... Perhaps I had the volume 2. Right, let's try again. We'll stop that, rewind it. Let's try connecting the remote back up again and see if that does anything. See, it won't give us any control at all over the tape player when I have the remote plugged in. We'll just quickly try it again, because we know which one we can unplug now if it does... Right, we might be right there now. Let's try this again. So let's try C load, C load, stop that. Press enter, press play, and again note it's not allowing the tape to start. If I pull out the remote connector, oh, for some reason it's still not allowing the tape to play. That's odd. Just bear with me a second, folks. I'm just going to get a different tape player just to rule out the fact it's not something going very wrong with this tape player. So back in a sec. Right, okay. I've got this Alba cassette player out just to rule out whether the cassette player is what's causing us issues. Now I do have the remote connected, so if that is a problem with this system, we can address that in a future video. So if it doesn't work now, it's obviously going to be something with the computer rather than the cassette player. So we'll check that and stick that. I've already rewound it to that side. We'll stick that in. We'll try this again. So we'll type C load, C-L-O-A-D. We'll try pressing play on the cassette player first and hit enter. And again, no, we haven't got the tape playing, so let's pull that remote, and that started the tape playing. I don't know if we're going to actually hear anything this time, because I don't think this has got that audio monitor feature that other tape player I've got's got, but hopefully if it starts playing, at least we should be able to get something coming up. This is actually quite annoying. I actually quite like the fact that other one gives you that audible monitor so you can actually hear what the tape's doing. Now I've expected this to have got through to where at least it could hear something, so we don't seem to be getting anything at all. I've got the volume turned up. The tape's definitely running, but at least we've got a little bit further with the other tape player. we're getting absolutely nothing. Just bear with me a second, folks. I'll try. Oh, hang on. There we go. So it's come up with an I/O error. So let's stop. Rewind that. I'll try one of the other tapes. In fact, I'll have to rewind them. Just bear with me a second, folks, and let's try again. Right, let's give this one last try with this scramble. So we'll type C-load again. I have confirmed I had it disconnected from the computer, and this tape is playing absolutely fine through this tape player. So I think it must be something to do with perhaps that relay that works the remote on the actual tape player through the computer, which we're having problems with. But we should still be able to get this to actually load. Let's try enter now, and let's press play. So that tape is definitely playing there. I've got it set to a good volume that through the speaker it sounds clear and undistorted. So let's see if actually anything loads up on the actual computer this time. And if it doesn't, we will try one last. I might even flip back to the other tape player, because I don't think it's the tape player which is the issue. I think the problem actually is, like I said, there's something wrong with the remote control of the tape in the actual computer. But that shouldn't stop it, like I say, actually being able to load some data. That's not looking promising. I'd have expected it to actually come up with scramble by now on there. So it could be that it's this side of the tape's bad, because I did go back to the first side that we started on, and it's only the other side that's actually working. Because when we tried it on the other side of this tape in the other tape player, we did at least get it to come up with scramble on there, but it obviously came up with an error. There, look, we've got an I/O error here. It's obviously not, it's probably like a timeout error. That. Let's stop that tape there. I will swap back to the other tape player, and we'll perhaps try one of the Cuthbert tapes and see if we can get one of those to load. So back in a sec. Right, I've swapped back to the other tape player. Make sure that's fully rewound. Yes, it is. And I've got Cuthbert Goes Walkabout, and I've just rewound that. So this is this tape. Let's give this a try. See if this is actually going to do anything. So again, it's C-load, C-L-O-A-D. Then press enter. Press enter. We'll press play on the tape. Again, it seems to be trying to load, but it comes up every time with this FM error, question FM error. Perhaps it wasn't quite loud enough, I don't know. Let's give that another quick try. Rewind that again on there. Because I think this tape plays absolutely fine. I think it is something wrong with the actual computer. Stop that again, and we'll try that again. In fact, let's do a complete switch off. Switch back on. So we've got Extended Colour Basic 1.1, copyright 1982 by Tandy, under license from Microsoft. So let's try C-load again. We will press enter and press play on the tape. I've got the volume a little bit higher, but I don't think that's the issue. Like I said, I think we've got something wrong with the cassette loading. It's exactly the same every time. Stop that, rewind it. It could be something to the fact that we're not using the remote, but I don't think that's the case, because I know on the case on like my Dragon, I often load software just via a cassette lead from MP3 or from a computer and stuff like that, and that works absolutely fine. So this should really work absolutely fine. We've got all the remotes set up there. So let's just try it one last time. See load. Press play on that so it's set ready. Press enter. And no, it doesn't start the tape or anything. So we pull the remote out. Stop that. Oh, hang on, because I had that set into the wrong mode there. But I bet what it'll do, like I said, it will hit the first bit of data, it will find out what it is. There we go. But then we just get this FM error. So it is being able to actually recognise that there's, there is data coming in. It can get the header, but then that's it. That's all it's doing. And I don't think it's the fact that the tapes are just worn out and old. In fact, well, just as a last thing, we'll try out all the tapes. But I bet the same thing will happen when we put Cuthbert Goes Digging in. Because I don't think that's the issue at all. I think it is something to do with the way that this is controlling the tape player, and there's something wrong with the tape interface. Try the other side of that after. We will try Cuthbert Goes Digging though and see if this is going to do anything. Press rewind, let that rewound. We can do our C load, can't we? Wait for this to finish rewinding. Nearly done. Done. Okay, we'll press enter. We will hit play on that. That's playing. What I expect it to do is exactly the same thing. It will hit the header. We'll get the header come up, and then we'll get that error. Yeah. Exactly the same. F digger. I'm wondering whether it's expecting, because you also hear the relay click at the time, that it's wanting to pause the tape at that point, but it's not doing. There's definitely something. I need to find out what this question FM error is as well, so I'll have to look that up. That's not something I've ever come across when I've been messing with my dragons, I've got to say. It's only something I've come up since I've been playing with this this Co-Co 2. Anyway, I'm going to leave the video there for now because I don't want to make this video too long. This video was literally just a case of, is it going to power up? Is there anything majorly wrong with it? And no, there isn't. I mean, you can see, we can type a basic program on it, and a basic program will load on it. The only issues we're having so far is not loading from cassette. What I think we'll do, I'll probably do some videos on some other stuff because I don't want to keep my videos too much of the same. I've still got to get back on with the Zenith. I've got a pack of resistors on the tape. Yeah, I've got a load of resistors here for the Zenith to rebuild that motherboard in that. So we might do that in a upcoming video. But we will get back onto this. We need to clean that main board up because it's absolutely filthy. Sort the capacitors out actually in there and see if we can figure out why it's not working correctly with the cassette player. But super pleased. I am like mega pleased with this for what I paid for it, with the bits and bats that I got with it and the condition of it, because it is in really nice condition. I'm absolutely stoked with it, and it's even better that there's something wrong with it, and I can't quite, or at least I think there's something wrong with it. I could just be doing something absolutely stupidly wrong. In fact, I will probably spend an hour after this video redigesting the manual and making sure there's not anything silly or daft that I'm doing that I've overlooked. I don't think there is. So we need to address that. We also we really need to do some kind of composite mod or video output mod, so we can actually. I mean, it's not bad as RF goes. That is not bad at all, and actually, it's pretty damn good. It probably helps that this TV doesn't mind NTSC or PAL, and the signal coming out of this thing's a bit weird because the video chip that they used in this and in the Dragon is really designed for NTSC, and they kind of like make it work with PAL kind of thing for the Dragon and again for the UK version of the Co-Cos here. It is really a chip that was intended for use with NTSC though. Anyway, I'm probably rambling a bit now anyway, but I'm just like super pleased this thing actually, like I said, there's nothing majorly wrong with it. The keyboard works. That would have been a pain to see if I could have sorted out, especially having that membrane in there. So it's going to be sort the capacitors out, sort the issue out so we can actually get software loading from tape. Do some kind of AV mod to this thing that doesn't involve drilling any holes in the case or doing any permanent modifications, but it would be nice to get, you know, composite and audio out of it, just so I'm not limited to just something that can actually take an RF signal like this TV, because I am getting, I've got that one, I've got a little CRT TV up there which is good with analog. I'm not sure actually. I've got a few up in the attic, but they're 16 by 9. Even though they're analog, they're 16 by 9, so they're not as good as a nice 4:3 screen like this for what we're doing. Anyway, so I'm going to leave it there for now. Like I said, you will see this computer again in an upcoming video, but we'll probably do something with some of my other computers, and I've got radios and things I really want to have a nifty look at. I've got that power supply I picked up at the same time as this that I need to actually get into a serviceable condition if we can. We've got that little Russian amplifier. I want to see if I can perhaps do something with that. So like I said, I've got lots and lots to be going on with. Well, so I'm going to leave it there for now. I hope you enjoyed this little update on this Tandy Co-Co. At least we can see that it does indeed at least power up and work, and we can load BASIC on it. So I'll say thanks for watching and goodbye.